Hi, folks. It's me, Michael Bach, and it's time for another episode of Lunchtime Learning on SHRM's Inclusion 2023 conference taking place in Savannah, Georgia from October 30th to November 1st. Today, I'm joined by Jeremy York, lead consultant and president at InvigorateHR LLC, whose session titled Building a Sustainable DEIB Strategy, Let's Get to Work takes place Tuesday, October 31st at 2:30 p.m. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Michael. It's great to be here.
Okay, really, the most important question everybody wants to know, are you going to wear a costume for your presentation? Because it is Halloween.
That's a great question. It is Halloween, and I'm not quite sure what I might wear for that day. It might be a costume, it might be, business, business as it usually is, or it could be like these Zoom meetings where it's business up here and fun down below. So it could be any of that.
I love it. Okay, we can look forward to a surprise at your session. All right, so tell me all about your topic.
Yeah. Well, so this particular topic is for all of those people that are out there wanting to learn how and start a DEIB strategy, right? So many people look at a DEIB strategy like it's this big three-headed monster and it's going to gobble them up, and they're afraid of what it might be like, and so they just have all this dread. Well, really, I want people to understand that it is something that isn't really that challenging if we lay it out in such a way that people actually know what they're doing, right? We kind of have to put the parts out there first. And so it's really one to understand, for everyone to understand leadership, that we are trying to foster this environment of inclusion, right? These work environments. But we also need to make sure that the organization has actionable steps, and we have to design it in such a way that we've got, our goals, we have our communication plan. How are we going to communicate that plan? How are we going to make a lot of the tasks or the actions accessible, and how are we actually going to get to work on those? So I want people to understand that this really isn't some big bad ugly monster that we're trying to do. It can really be quite easy if we just plan it out and take the time to focus on what it is we're trying to accomplish and achieve. And so that's what we're setting out to do in this particular session.
Wow, that's a lot to cover in 1 hour.
Yeah.
What do you want attendees to come away from your session with a better understanding of?
I think I want people to understand, one, how do we convince leadership that this is something that we really need to do, right? And I think that's always a hard part. And part of it is being able to illustrate and show them what the return on our investment might be. We all know that diversity is the right thing to do, but what a lot of people don't understand is that there is great benefit to that within our organization and our businesses that we're working in. One, is that it can attract top talent, right? People want to go to work for somewhere where they can be their authentic selves and they are appreciated for their different perspectives they bring in all together. It can be increased motivation and our innovation and creativity along with that motivation, right? Because when we're somewhere where we belong and we are actually doing good work and being able to, focus on the work and not feel like that we have to go back hiding in a closet, or we can't be our authentic selves, you know, that doesn't help us. That just hinders us overall. We want to also know and help leaders understand about business performance, about how, diverse organizations outperform others significantly. And especially if you're talking to the CFO, they want to understand that, how that impacts their bottom line, right? From a business performance perspective. And just being able to meet expectations of stakeholders. I think stakeholders want all businesses to perform and do very, very well. And here's a way for us to be able to do that, right? And be able to do it in such a way that is actually what I consider to be more actionable than others, right? And I think last but not least, just the whole component of social responsibility is that we have a responsibility to promote and recognize different kinds of people, and not only just for the visible diversity, but for the invisible diversity that exists in people as well. So that's what I hope people are able to take away from this. And that's what we'll engage in some discussion in. And as you said, it's a lot to cover in an hour, but we can do it, right? And we can have that conversation, at least get us started in the right direction.
That's fantastic, Jeremy. It sounds like it's going to be a great session. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat today and talk about your session. And remember, everyone, attend Jeremy's session on Tuesday, October 31st at 2:30 p.m., where we don't know what costume he'll be wearing. I'm very excited to see. And of course, if you've got nothing better to do, you can catch my session, What Gets Measured Gets Done, Measuring Success in Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility on Wednesday, November 1st at 7:30 a.m. Hope to see you in Savannah.